Hello. Excuse me. Yikes. Welcome to I believe this would be episode number 27 of the Nobody Asked for This podcast. We are just flying. The weeks are passing faster and faster. I actually just about 20 minutes ago was like, wow, I can't believe it's, already Tuesday. Which, if you think about it, is kind of a weird thing for somebody to think because it's like the second day of the week. So, it's already Tuesday is probably not a phrase that is often uttered. But that's what I thought. And then it was like, well, okay, it's Tuesday, which means tomorrow is Wednesday. I got to remember to do, another episode of the podcast. And then I was like, oh, it is not Tuesday. It is, in fact, Wednesday. So, here we are. This is off the cuff. This is with no forethought. This is with no planning, as I'm sure you can tell most of these episodes are. But this is what we're working with. So we're gonna keep on going. It is actually the second to last episode. This is crazy to think. The second to last episode before Christmas. I feel like we've been counting down for Christmas since July. I distinctly remember an episode that we did in July, and by we I mean me. And again, I just want to reiterate, I know nobody listens to this. This is not popular. I'm not on the freaking radio. I have no listenership. I actually think the last episode got 0 listeners because normally we at least get 1 because I have to check and make sure that it uploaded correctly, but I didn't kind of have time to do that. So we just sort of went with it. I'm pretty sure we're at 0. We have 0 listeners. So again, just reiterating, if someone does hear this one day, I'm not delusional. I know there's nobody writing in, but just let me pretend. All right? Okay. What was I saying? Yes, Christmas. There was an episode in July where I think we were talking about how Halloween was coming up so fast. And that was now 4 months ago. Not Halloween. The episode where I talked about Halloween. Because August, September, October, November. 4.5 months ago, which is crazy to think. But yes, Christmas is coming. Now, I would like to just say, I have yet to write my letter to Santa, but I think that we can maybe do this here. I've heard recently that it is common practice to make sort of a Google Doc, maybe an email file, an attachment, or you just put the actual text in the email part. Do one of those and send it to your family members, just so everybody knows really what you want. Now, I could do that. Or I could just say it on here and then find out who the real ones are. Because anybody that would get me something that I would say on here is clearly a listener of the podcast. So I think we're going to, for experiment's sake, say that for Christmas, I want, what's something random? I want a 7-piece weightlifting gym equipment set. Now, do I want that? No. Do I even think that what I just said makes sense? Nope. Do I think it possibly exists? I would say possibly is the word for that. But we're going to know that if I don't see under my Christmas tree a 7-piece Christmas tree set, everyone that knows me is fake. Okay? Or, on the flip side, on the positive, maybe we can take a lap around the positive side. If I do see a 7-piece gym workout equipment set thing, it means either somebody around me is my number 1 fan, or, and this is a big or, Santa heard me. So, either it's going to be a historic Christmas no matter what. We are going to learn something. This is a Christmas for science. This is a Christmas for research. This is a Christmas for smart people. And I'm just glad to be a part of it. But actually, speaking of Christmas, it hasn't felt like Christmas at all, which is sort of a bummer because last year didn't feel like Christmas at all. It felt like a Saturday. I remember walking around on Christmas being like, this is wrong. So it is a little bit unfortunate that the same thing is happening. And I actually tried this year. Again, as I said, I've been ramping up for this since July. I've been waiting for like the colder weather. Like, remember, everyone was so excited for fall to start because it was like summer for like 2 extra months. It was nuts. Nuts. It felt like summer was never starting, and then or ending, and then fall started, and then October flew, November flew, and now it's December and Christmas is already happening. So I'm not really understanding the passage of time, but I'm going to need it to slow down so that I can have enough time to like watch my Christmas movies. I honestly haven't even been listening to Christmas music. This is terrible. What I did do is I bought some peppermint bark the other day, so I'm hoping that sparks something, because this really is, it is my favorite time for the most part. I mean, cannot tell you how much I hate winter. It's like January to March, terrible months. For whatever reason, like it doesn't click. I'm not supposed to thrive during those months. Like, it's cold, not good. April, okay, like when spring starts springing, not as bad. I think, there is summer on the horizon. You start feeling some hope, some joy. And then May through like August is fine. It can kind of drag there in the middle. But then September on is the best. It's always been my favorite. So hopefully we can turn this around, because I got another 2 weeks and then it's stuck with, 3 months of my least favorite time of the year. And again, I've said this before, but they need to fix the seasons. They need to fix how they arrange stuff. I'm just going to say, if anyone who makes the decisions on this would like my input, the season should be as follows. Thank you. See, my air conditioner agrees with me. Or not, what's the air conditioning for the hot times? My heating. Okay, ready? This is how the season should go. I was going to say, I've talked about this on other podcasts, but clearly no one's listening. So I can truly just do the same thing over and over again until someone calls me on it. Without further ado, the seasons should be January, February, March, winter. Okay? No, I messed it up. Okay, start now. December, January, February, winter. All of those sound like winter months. March, April, May, spring. Okay, wait. Quick question. Does anyone else feel like their heating in their residence, like it smells like the food that you last cooked? Is that just me? I'll get back to the seasons in a second, but I feel like the heating thing will kick on and I start smelling the food. I'm gonna Google that. Again, forgive me. My heating smells like food, because that always happens when I'm recording. I'm recording again. Okay, wait. Mustiness. A musty smell. This is from Google, so don't sue me. This is not original thought. Mustiness. A musty smell usually indicates that there is moisture trapped inside your furnace. It's not musty. Okay, why does my heat smell like cheese? 5 common HVAC odors. Smells like something is burning. They need to seek help. Okay, I don't know. It's inconclusive, but I've always wondered that. Anyway, back to the seasons. March, April, May, spring. No one's going to disagree with me there. Except maybe in America, where I believe they get off of school in May, in which you would think that is the summertime, but we can maybe adjust, per region. And finally, September, October, November, fall. Easy. And then obviously December starts back up winter and we do the whole cycle again. It's so simple. It could all be so simple. But speaking of winter, the snow is coming. We have reached the time of year where we do not see, we don't see two things. We don't see positive temperatures and we don't see sunlight. I swear to you, I would not lie. I would not lie to my 0 listeners. I have better morals than that. I promise. I looked outside. The sun was starting to set. Do you know how when it gets really bright, just as the sun's about to set? I looked outside, saw that was occurring, checked the time, it was 2:47. Like, on the dot, 2:47 in the afternoon. Like, some people barely woke up by 2:47. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say you were up doing an essay. You know, it's final season, which I'm very thankful to not be a part of that anymore. But you could have been doing an essay till like 3 o'clock in the morning, went to bed, got a full 8 hours. Do some quick math on that. 8 plus 3. 8 plus 3 is... Well, that's 11. Okay, so let's say you woke... Right? Let's say you woke up at 11 and then hit the snooze, slept another 3 hours. You're almost at 2:47, and you haven't seen daylight. Like, where is the daylight? Where is the sun? Where is it gone? Does it not want to show up for work anymore? Does it want to retire? Because apparently the sun, not to turn into Albert Einstein, or not Albert Einstein, what's the scientist guy? Isaac Newton, who invented light. We might need him to come back and fix this, because apparently the sun is just going to, like, stop working one day. And I feel like anytime you hear those facts, like, you hear, like, oh, the sun's going to stop working, or, like, the moon's going to, like, dissolve, or there's a couple other ones. Obviously, you know, like, climate change stuff, like, we only have so much time, like, we really got to turn this around. I feel like anytime we hear that, you just think, oh, that's not going to be me. You know, like the rapture. We're like, oh, you know what? That is going to be a huge problem for someone else. But at some point, it's like, that time's going to happen. You know? Like, the comet will hit. You know? Like, it's coming. I don't know when. I don't know where. I'm sure someone will try to explain to me why. I probably won't understand it. But I don't know. Like, one of these days, it's going to happen. And I guess we all just like hope it's not now, but yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna do an issue an apology. I don't really it's been a long week, so if I stop making sense, or more accurately, start making less sense than I normally not make, maybe just give me. I'm pretty sure I said this last week, but maybe just give me some time. You know, I'm really going to be committed in 2023 to putting out sensical content, putting out just like lucid thoughts. But I think until then, I'm just going to ride this wave of nonsense. And I really appreciate you and welcome you to join me. We had a couple highs this week. I went to Target. And I have to say, no, I'm not going to call anybody out, but the Target that I go to, which is by no means local to me. It's actually in a completely different country, but I'm going to call it my local Target because it's like the closest Target to my house. It's driving distance. It's all good. You have to talk to a nice border agency on the way, but it's usually not too bad. So my local Target, which I had a local Target when Target came into Canada, but that was basically of the bust of the century. I'll do a quick explanation. Target, actually, we've talked about this on the show before. Zellers. I don't know if anyone remembers Zellers. They are coming back. I believe they're coming back as like a small section in like a larger department store here, as well as online. But Zellers was a store like Target, which, speaking of, I would love to see my thought patterns. Like, you know, when you open a computer and like you open one file that opens up another file that opens up another file, almost like those dolls that like you open, and like there's a smaller one and then a smaller one and there's a smaller one. I feel like the amount of times I start a subject and then just like jump ship and start talking about something else, and then from that stem on to something else is plenty. So I will make note of what I was talking about, and we'll get back to it. But I just have to say, what type of store would you say like Target is? Like, it's not a department store. I would have said department store, but apparently department store means like there's like different stores within the store, like a Nordstrom. And it's not really a grocery store. Like, you can buy groceries there, but I don't think anyone goes to Target to buy like food. Like, you'd go to Walmart. Okay, I'm going to Google the official. Okay, yeah, it's considered a big box department store. Perfect. Easy. Problem solved. But yeah, no longer Target in Canada, so my local Target is like close to an hour away in a completely different country. But I can visit it frequently. And I have to say, not the best selection. It's a Target in a mall. I feel like I might have to venture out into the unknown a bit and go to a standalone Target. I also believe they have a super Target, similar to the Walmart Supercenter, which I think most Walmarts have just become supercenters. So I'm a little confused as to the differentiation, because I have yet to see a Walmart, like drive by a Walmart that's not the supercenter version for like 10 years. And by 10, I mean like 5. You know? But whatever, I'll let them have that one. Sometimes it's just not worth the fight. But yeah, so Target, come back to Canada. But leave Zellers alone. Do you know what I don't understand? Which could be the name of this podcast, things I don't understand, which is most things. But I never understood why places close, shops go out of business, but then they're replaced by like a different brand's version of that same store. Like a lot of the Targets, like, because again, Target Canada failed, they left gaping holes in malls. Like one of the big, like, what is the word, flagship? That's a very dramatic word to use, but one of like the big, like the stores in a mall that are like kind of operate independent of the mall, like they have their own hours and stuff, like they're kind of on the ends of the huge stores. Target bought all of those and then 2 years later sold all of them, so they left huge holes in malls. But a lot of them were just filled with like Walmarts or like, I don't know, like other big box department stores. So it's like, if that didn't work, like if Target didn't work, why do you think Walmart is going to work? You know what I mean? Like, it's a little bold to now be like, oh, let's just put my store in there. And even though it's the same stuff for the same price point, it's going to work. And the weirdest part is it kind of does. It kind of does. But yes, to kind of keep going with my thought there, one of the highs of the week, going to Target, I got some good food that I would like to highlight. So this isn't really, those of you who are familiar with our snack graveyard segment, we talk about snacks that are no longer in production, very sad. But this is not that. This is actually the opposite of that, because I'll be talking about things that I bought. And this is specifically the holiday edition. I almost said Halloween, different holiday. The Christmas edition. The holiday season edition. I bought what I think to be the best Christmas chocolate around, which is the Ghirardelli, I believe is how you pronounce the title, the brand, the peppermint bark, but not any regular peppermint bark. It was a dark chocolate peppermint bark. And I bought it because I really wanted something healthy, something that I could use to promote healthy living, something that increases blood or decreases blood sugar, increases just overall fitness levels. So that's why I didn't go with the milk chocolate version, because that's just like way too sugary. But I'm pretty sure dark chocolate is like it's like pretty much health food. Which, if someone told me that cocoa comes from a plant, so like chocolate is pretty much salad. If you do the math, like carry a couple of the ones, scrunch up the paper, throw it outside, and then forget that you have any sort of logical reasoning. If you do all that, then chocolate salad. So I did that, and I'm pretty much eating peppermint salad, which is pretty good by the sounds of it. You didn't think it would be, but it is. So I got some of the Ghirardelli. I also got, what else did I get? There was something else. Oh, Target has a bunch of like, what are they called? Like trail mixes, but seasonal flavored. So there's like, I believe it's called like the reindeer crunch or something. I got a little kind of tester package of that because they had the bigger one, but it was $10. And I was like, listen, with the exchange rate, I'm not spending $10 on reindeer food when I don't even know if I like it. So I'm glad that I, went with my gut and did the $1 tester version, because I don't really like it. No offense if that's your thing, but it wasn't bad. It just wasn't $10, And it didn't have to be $10, but it was. So that's how I measured it. I also, speaking of trying stuff that I didn't like, tried the Starbucks toasted white mocha from the States. It is exclusively in America, or if not exclusively in America, exclusively in Canada, meaning they do not have it in Canada. Now, you would never know that they don't have this if you do live in Canada, because it's a secret menu item. Okay, ready? I'm going to give you all the secret. Don't tell anybody. But as someone who has tasted the toasted white mocha in the States, they actually do have it in Canada. So if you want it, I'm going to tell you exactly what to order if you want to try it and you're in Canada, right? Okay, so you're going to go up to the Starbucks, either the drive-through. This hack will also work on the app. It will also, of course, work in person. You're going to go up and you're going to say, "Hi, how are you?" And then the person that works at Starbucks is going to say, "Oh, I'm good. How are you?" And you're going to say, I'm okay. I'm about to get, a secret menu item." And they're going to say, "Oh, that's great. What can I get for you?" And then, we're ordering the toasted white chocolate mocha. So to get that, you just have to say, "Hi, can I please have a insert size here, white chocolate mocha?" And they're going to say, "Absolutely." And then you're going to go step to that little side counter, get your drink. And even if it says just regular white chocolate mocha, if you want it to be the toasted, just pretend it is, and it will be. Because, again, as someone who has tried it, it is exactly the same thing. If you handed that to me and said this was the white chocolate mocha, I would sip it and believe you. If you handed it to me and said this is the toasted white chocolate mocha, I would sip it and believe you. Now, this might not be all the Starbucks Corporation's fault, because I have had some taste issues since I had the Rona about 6 months ago at this point. So I don't want to completely blame outside sources, but I'm telling you, from what I heard, you can't hear or drink, Francesco. From what I have tasted, it is the exact same thing. It's maybe not as sweet. So if you want to completely duplicate this recipe, maybe in the secret menu version in the Canadian Starbucks, you just ask for maybe one less pump or half a pump less of the actual syrup, and I'm telling you, it's the exact same thing. Now, this is particularly of note for me, because as I went over, and I want to say episode number 23, Starbucks has recently cut some of my favorite drinks, the eggnog, the gingerbread latte, both seasonal, because of apparent supply chain issues, which, okay, totally fine. I understand. Times are tough. The chain isn't as supplied as it once was. Stuff was getting stuck in the Suez Canal. I get it. I'm reasonable. I can understand. Now, the problem is, if the Suez is so clogged up, I can imagine why, because they have to ship both toasted white mocha and regular white mocha, when really we could just do one or the other. Because I'm telling you, it's the same thing. So if the supply chain is so messed up to the part that they can't have the gingerbread latte, then I'm thinking maybe we could do some sort of trade, some sort of takesies backsies, and, just send on through the gingerbread syrup in place of the toasted white mocha. Okay? I can't do this again. I can't go through the whole spiel, because it actually makes sense. I know a lot of my spiels make less than sense, or little to no sense. This one kind of does, honestly, not to brag. But I won't put you through it. Once again, if you want to listen to it, episode 23, I believe towards the end, I list through all the syrups and, just really critique. I would like to say it's constructive. I'm not 100% sure. I think I borderline to just regular criticism as opposed to constructive criticism. But, yeah. And again, companies have their reasons. I'm sure financially it just makes more sense. But, do we really need toasted white mocha when we have regular white mocha? You know what I mean? It's just something to think about. And that's what I like to offer here. Just things to think about. I also would like to do a quick review of a real delicacy to American cuisine, and that is Panda Express. specifically from a mall. I think similar to the Target philosophy, where I think the Targets, or actually it would be very unsimilar to the Target philosophy that I mentioned earlier, which would be how the Targets and malls are worse than the standalone ones. It's just a theory. I haven't tested it yet, but I actually would like to test the opposite theory for Panda Express. I think it's better when it's in a mall as opposed to like a standalone Panda Express. But I had that not 48 hours ago, maybe 50 hours ago, maybe 52 hours ago, now that I'm thinking about it. And it was great. I had the Beijing beef, which I couldn't find on the signs, like, do you know when you see it in like not the buffet, but like in their display case or whatever? I couldn't see it, but I thought I recognized it. And thankfully I asked, because I was like, excuse me, is that the Beijing beef? And she said, yes. And I said, oh, perfect. It said mushroom chicken on it, but whatever. Not my place to judge. And I also had the orange chicken. Now, I have to say, again, I'm going to blame COVID. It wasn't, like, the flavor wasn't there. Now, I'm not going to eat mall American-style Chinese food and then judge it to the point of diagnosing myself with some sort of permanent loss in taste. I think that would be a hasty decision. I think that would be unsound medical advice, and I'm going to stay away from that. But I'm telling you, there's something going on, and it doesn't fully make sense because I feel like the remix of COVID that I got, which I don't exactly know which one, but I believe I got it on the tail end of the Omicron or that one. You know what I'm talking about. Which, it's kind of funny, the variants just sort of stopped. It went like OG, then we had like the flu Corona one, the flu Rona, Delta Plus, Delta Premium, Delta Economy, and then Omicron, and then it kind of just like didn't happen anymore. So I don't know, like, if it just kind of went behind the scenes a little bit, like the scientists know what the current variants are called, and now there's like something else going around. So a lot's happening, but my point in bringing this all up was I don't think I got COVID when it was when the strain at the time, the strain that was trending at that moment, I don't believe a symptom of that one was the weird taste loss. So it's odd that happened, and I actually thought that I was imagining it, but I would forget and then realize it again. Like it was the year of realizing things, really. So I don't know. Really hoping that solves itself, because I mean the amount of hot sauce I have to use is just not economical, especially with the prices of gas. Like I can't be paying for gas at the current rate, as well as paying the necessary prices for the hot sauce that is needed to supplement my the food that I eat, because I need to taste something. So I don't know. I actually think that if I was ever going to get a sponsorship, hot sauce would be my first sort of venture. So if anyone has a hot sauce, even like starter, like you make it in the garage, or like even the backyard, like if you want me to sponsor it, I actually think I could do it. Even if it's not for sale, like if you just want me to talk about it, I can do that. Because I feel like you probably need some sort of like approval from like the food and health sector administration people. So, but I can brag about your hot sauce if you send me some. But yeah. All right, but before I get to all over the place, I think this is a great place to end it. Oh, one more thing. I've been trying. I was, again, very dedicated, to this show, to the point of being speechless. I was trying to review the candy cane fudge McFlurry because I thought that this is what everyone would want to hear from me. Now, I obviously haven't done that in this episode, and that is by no fault of my own. I love putting the blame on other people, and for this particular time, I'm going to put the blame on the ice cream machine and or the operators of said ice cream machine at my local McDonald's. I tried to order it. I said, hello, can I have the candy cane fudge McFlurry? I feel like I did my part. I didn't say that. This is me now adding, my own commentary. And they said, sorry, the machine is broken. Now, I saw the machine when I rolled up to the drive-thru, or at least what I believe to be the machine, and it looked fine. So I don't know if they just didn't feel like it. I've heard the more complicated the Blizzard is to make, or forgive me, the McFlurry, the more complicated the McFlurry is to make. Maybe that's why they didn't give it to me, because they probably called it a Blizzard. The more complicated the McFlurry is to make, the less likelihood that the ice cream machine is going to work. If you know what I'm saying. They just say that. Which, I get it. I respect it. I have my lazy moments too. But, I hope to have tried that by next week, because if not, I'm going to be doing a post-Christmas dessert review, heck, can you get more unprofessional than that? So, yeah. Thank you for listening. Again, I'm pretty sure like even less people listen to this than ever before, which is kind of nice because we can't go down. We can't go down from zero. But yeah, in case anyone listens to this one day, you can find us. Nobody asked for this. We have a website, podcast.nobodyaskforthis. Forgive me. Podcastnobodyaskforthis.podbean.com. Podbean is not. I didn't choose that. I didn't ask for that. I signed up for it, but I didn't ask for it. It's an interesting name. We're not going to knock them, but we're just going to openly question. What does that mean? I don't know. You can also find us on Spotify, iTunes. That was Apple Podcasts. iHeartRadio, Line-In, Samsung Radio, Stitcher. Don't know what half of those are, but we are on there. I would say our website is probably the best place because you can also see where we are on the social medias, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, all the places. But thank you. Yeah. I hope you all have a great week, a great pre-Christmas week, pre-holiday week. If you celebrate at any point in this month, have a great time. If it's just a regular month, I hope you have a great regular month. I appreciate you, truly. Thanksgiving was months ago at this point, but I'm thankful for anyone that hears this. So, yes, I'm extremely tired. So I'm going to go, probably sleep, hopefully remember to upload this. And yeah, good night. Bye.